I want to introduce you today to Cherise Johnson. Cherise works for REAP, the Rural Island Economic Partnership Initiative, and she is the manager there for the Rising Tide Business Services. She's gonna share with us what that is all about. And Cherise comes from a background in communications and marketing. She's worked in this field for over 15 years. She has supported corporations, non-for-profits, small businesses all over North America. She has a master's degree in environmental education and communications from Royal Roads. And welcome, Cherise, to this Salt Spring Chamber of Commerce webinar, Lunch and Learn, our first one. Yay.
Oh, amazing. Thank you.
I'll pass it over to you and let's get started.
Yeah, wonderful. I hope this brings some sunshine to your day. We have some fun things planned. Of course, I'm going to give you some background on Rising Tide and the Rural Islands Economic Partnership. I'll give you a bit of an overview of Rising Tide Business Services, what we offer, and give you a chance to check out the website for more detail on that, but I'll give you a fun little overview. And then we'll get into some more sales tactics, what you can do to get customers today. And that'll be the fun part in my mind. But the Rural Islands Economic Partnership started a couple of years ago, and it was really about bringing together BC rural islands and Indigenous communities in the face of the pandemic and other challenges that are common for each rural island. The mandate, the vision is to connect with our members and partners and supporters to facilitate and promote community engagement, coordination, collaboration, and to learn together to achieve common economic goals sustainably. And so many of you might be familiar with the Island Comeback campaign that supported small business with the ability to market your business and sell gift certificates during that time when lots of travel restrictions really hampered business. And this is sort of an evolution of that. So Rising Tide Business Services is the ability to handle or work with each business individually to really help elevate your own marketing so that your sales are sustainable year round. We believe that a rising tide lifts all boats. And by working together, we can pool this demand and provide affordable marketing services for island micro and small businesses. Again, not just during this pandemic, but through other challenges as well. So Rising Tide Business Services, as I mentioned, provides strategic and affordable marketing solutions and marketing services. The idea being that they're delivered by islanders for islanders. So it's that synergy between supporting local business on various sectors, also through consulting and other freelancers that help keep the islands vibrant. And so when I say strategic and affordable, there's a lot of options out there, and that's probably a lot of the challenge is where do I go? What do I use? Who's reliable? How do I know this is going to work in the long term? And we want to provide that service where we're helping you figure that out. And you also have sort of an accountability factor here that this is a social enterprise run by a nonprofit with a board of islanders that want to see everyone succeed. So this is more of an assurance for you as someone endeavoring in a marketing campaign or a long-term program. So as I mentioned, digital marketing, there's a lot to approach here, but we like to just sort of narrow it down with these, say, 3 major solutions and then a service to help you through it. So obviously these all work in concert: web, social media, and digital advertising. But if we just take more of a project-based approach on each of these, and we can help you, take on little bits at a time and at an affordable rate and price. So web and e-commerce, if you're going to sell online, there's a lot to consider. So we've done some of the homework for you. We've looked at a lot of different platforms. We have all the different features sort of laid out for our clients, and we say, what is important to you? This can work for you, and this is what's working for our clients. And I'll speak to that in a bit with someone that we're working with, because you're not just selling online. You might be at markets, you might be at studio, you might be You know, also not just an artist, but a maker, a teacher. There's many channels that you're selling. So we want to make sure that this solution is streamlined for you so that you're not, it's not making more work for you. With social media campaigns, you know, this is something that's sort of just a mainstay in marketing now. Everyone has some sort of channel that they focus on, that they like to build a community around, and they nurture their customers with. But we know that that can be time consuming. But the good news is that with the evolution of a lot of these tools, Facebook just announced they're the metaverse, whatever that means, but that means that things are becoming more automated, things are simplifying. If you go to create a PowerPoint today, it'll help you design it while you're doing it. That's amazing, right? 5 years ago, I had to really plan out and find someone to help me think around the design of things. And that's not the case anymore. So I think we can leverage that as small business and just make it something very simple that you can replicate ongoing and have scheduled and keep people engaged. Of course, targeted advertising with Google Ads and social media is huge, and SEO, search engine optimization. Some of these things are costly, but they don't necessarily have to be. Like, you should have a good baseline to work from, and that'll really help you when you go out to get more support to find your market. You can do that yourself, or you can work with someone like us just to get those little nitpicky things down. If you were to Google SEO right now, you'd get a list of things you can do, and it's like overwhelming. But for folks that are used to doing something like that, it's very quick and easy. Marketing helpline is something that we want to offer consistently so that you have through email, through guided advice on Zoom, or through a hotline. Like, we have 3 days a week for about 12 hours. You can just pick up the phone and get someone that can help you with an issue. One of our members, was worried about the supply chain issues and delaying orders for her customers, and wondered, should I put that on my website? Should I let people know? So it's good to just bounce ideas off of us, and we can be around for that as well. As I mentioned, we like to hire local folks to deliver these. So we're working with a pool of experts, if they're available, that would help to deliver these services. And that's also, this is something that's sort of a core to the islands, is that you can now work digitally. You can work remotely. So we want to make sure that we're supporting the economic stability of islands by creating that self-sufficient model where we're working with local talent to deliver this where possible. We're really excited to be working with, we'll be announcing soon, a First Nation community that's going to have a huge tourism project, and we'll be hopefully training youth there to help deliver these services as well. So if we get into the actual pieces of it, our website packages, these are the things that we really pay attention to when we're making recommendations. Beautiful themes that are responsive. Websites, it used to be a lot of different, graphics, the vector images, they would say, but really it's all about the images that you use. People want to see your products placed nicely. They want to see the lands at your Airbnb. They don't really want to, sorry, your bed and breakfast. We don't want to see, a lot of text. We just want to be really compelled to click a link and to learn more. So we also want to make sure that mobile is accessible through whatever we click, right? I mean, BC Ferries took forever to get a mobile responsive website, and I think that was a thorn in a lot of people's side. But if you look at your web stats, it goes up at least 5% every year, and I think we're average 60% of people are looking at your website on a mobile or tablet. So that can be sometimes tricky to achieve with different platforms, and we're making sure that happens for small business with what we've chosen. We use Wix. So this is something that they've grown amazing with the amount of artificial intelligence that they're using to be able to improve their e-commerce functions, the amount of integrations that you can add. So you don't have to say today, I need all these things for my website. I need my website to do this. You can think a year or two down the line and add things as you need. So that's something that we want to have for small business. You want to have guided support when you need it and want it. It's difficult to keep emailing folks, why isn't this working? What's not happening? Software as a service, it is pretty much standard that you will have 24-hour support. And I've worked with a lot of that for contests and different websites, and I find it very reliable. They stake their reputation on that. So we want to make sure that whatever we build for you is something that you can keep maintaining on your own and with the support of that service. And we're also considering, your point of sales, not just online, but out in the market or wherever you are. So we're seeing that a lot of small business use Square. And I'm sure you know that from the brewery to the artist, wherever you are. So we want to streamline that for you and make sure that you're not having to keep track of too many things by using all these other services. When I think about social media packages, like I mentioned, things have come a long way. So we can provide you with some strong branded graphics that are consistent and little templates that you can use. So perhaps if you want to take over at one point, that's something that we could train you to do through the marketing helpline. But we can help you focus on a strong call to action to make sure that folks are interested in what you're offering. We can look at, special offers and product showcases and testimonials, and focus on the content a bit more rather than the design aspect, which I find that a lot of clients kind of get spiraling down, should this be green, should this be blue? Once you have a crisp, clean template and you have some nice images, it's really about the message you're sending, and we want to help you focus on that and to make sure that it's consistent so that you're able to reach out and engage your customers ongoing, especially during like a holiday season. And of course, we want to schedule these posts and make sure that people know when to expect your content, and that we're scheduling it during the times where your customers are online. You don't, maybe Monday morning isn't the best time to send something out. It's usually about, Thursday afternoon, everyone's waiting for the weekend, everyone's starting to drift and get online, maybe not focused on their work. That's when we want to schedule content for you. So we're looking at ways to optimize those channels for you in every possible way. And then also you're getting some free ads out of this. So it's not just about the ongoing engagement, but it's, hey, this one's getting some traction. Let's boost this. Let's put some money towards that. So you're getting your brand out there. And of course, digital targeted advertising, lots of people say you got to pay to play. That's true. But in the meantime, there's definitely things you can do to make sure that when you're ready to put some money out there, you have a good quality rating for Google. And there's a number of factors that they consider, and that's updated every year. And so that's some more homework for you, but it's easy for us to take care of that for you. So we look at, a little bit of a strategy around how to improve that quality rating. We can look at how to optimize your website for local search. Something as simple as the local Google My Business page is really important to make sure that you have images related to your business that are representative of what you want to sell or who you want to be. And that's something a lot of people don't pay attention to, but Google My Business page, they'll even walk you through that as well online, kind of give you some hints and tips to improving your own Google business page. Because, if you want to get somewhere and you're putting in your directions and you see that local business, you might get a fuzzy picture of the building or the bed and breakfast, and you're like, oh, is that where I'm going? But so you want to have something that's really vivid and compelling for folks. Keyword research is pretty important. And keywords, yes, people type them into the Google search bar, but they also need to be embedded in your website content. So lots of people like to get cute and have fun and puns and all that stuff, and that can be okay. But if it's in your, say, your H1 tag, which is usually like the largest and bold font on your website, then Google can't find what you're actually selling on that page. So we want to make sure that, you know, if you're looking for gingerbread cookies, that that's what you've got in on your website. And I know lots of folks kind of gloss over that because they want to have some more fun with content. But it's also important to sort of update your content as your products and services evolve, so that maybe old blogs on your website that you're writing about exist, but you could actually just kind of refresh all your content as well. No need to create all new stuff. Google will just be looking for those keywords. And then there's on-page content and sort of like meta content with titles, links, and images. But you know, every time you upload an image to your website, what it's called in the file matters. And so that also should be included with some keywords. And those are things that we can help kind of scope out when we think about, okay, even if you're spending all this money on these ads, when people get to your website, you know, are they really getting what they need from it? And as I mentioned, we have the marketing helpline. So that's through email, Zoom, or our hotline hours. So, you know, you might be running an ad, you might have questions, people get locked out of their Instagram accounts, all sorts of things. So this can help this program ongoing. So with all these things to consider, you know, the actual point of it is the sales, and it's what will give me sales. Everybody has a website, everybody's got social now, we have ads running, but what makes all those things effective? So the interesting thing is working with some of the large marketing departments I have, mainly in the energy savings industry. There's a huge push. That's the second most gas or greenhouse gas emitting domestic source in Canada. So working with Honeywell and BC Hydro, I got to work with these marketing departments that were trying to sell people energy savings, you know, smart meters, all these things that can help us collectively save the planet and save money. But it was one of the most difficult things to sell, even though there were so many benefits. But it turns out there's a lot of people doing a lot of research on what works, what is persuasive for people. And there's about 10 things, but I'm going to give you the top 3. And if you can show people that they can't have something, they'll want it. So however that happens, usually, you know, if you go to click on something, they'll and you leave something in a cart, they might come out at you as a little pop up and they say, you've got, you know, 20 minutes to get this offer at 50% off. That's sort of a common thing now. So whatever you're offering, if you can actually give them some scarcity around it, you know, limited numbers. Toilet paper was huge during the pandemic. That's why we have that up. Who thought toilet paper would, you know, send people clamoring? That's because there was going to be a limited number and people were concerned. So being creative with that will really help boost your sales, and that can help leverage your social media a bit more. So around the holidays, you know, of course, the toys or whatever it is you can think of. And that's where the marketing helpline comes along. You know, we could bounce ideas with that. What can you offer, a limited edition or a limited number? Limited time is a good one. I know, like maybe special offer for a week, but it hasn't been proven to be as effective as a limited number. And you know, you can also just leverage the seasonal aspect of limited time, and Starbucks certainly has with the pumpkin spice latte. You can't get it, you know, if days are short, you know, running out of time, and now it's going to be Christmas, you're not going to be able to enjoy that drink. So you can even think around seasonally what you can offer every kind of quarter that would be a limited sort of offer. Another thing with social media that's great is that this should be a conversation, right? It's not just an ad, or else people would just still spend all their money on television advertising. We could co-create with our customers, and it's creating that we feeling. So there's things that you can ask your customers, you know, what would you like to see? Help me do this. And that's why we're seeing a lot of success with crowdfunding and Kickstarters, because you get to be part of this enterprise, and then also benefit from whatever you're giving. So try to get feedback, make it sort of fun and engaging. And that's what you can do, without a lot of money. This is all ideas to broaden your social media reach as well. I'd like to think about the Lay's potato chips. These are, maybe I'd try these, but this is something that's become sort of fun. I remember my daughter loves butter chicken. She was so excited that that was a flavor. And she's like, I thought of this 6 months ago, so trying to get people engaged in your product. There's a lot of fun ways to do that. And then it makes them want to talk about it with their friends and family as well. And of course, social proof or testimonials. Those are so key. That's probably number one, but if you're starting out, you might not have a lot of those, but you can't go wrong by keep telling your customers how others have benefited, have others speak on your behalf. Influencers, of course, are huge in the marketing world and social media. They come on, they're providing that social proof and testimonial for a lot of products. They get sent so much to try. And my sister-in-law, she works in nutrition. She gets so many of these health food snacks sent to her, and whatever she puts online, that's a big win for them, because those 10,000 people are saying, okay, my trusted nutritionist is telling me that this is good for me. But in lieu of that, you can definitely, anytime you have a great interaction with the customer, don't be shy to say, would you recommend me? And we do this all the time. What's your most popular item? We ask our servers at a restaurant. Telling people even what your most popular item is okay. And that's why even on like Etsy's and a lot of stores, they flag, on the front page, most popular item, because that's the thing that people will gravitate to. On Salt Spring right now, we're working with CRE Salt Spring Weavers. And we're transferring her Etsy store into an online store, because I understand Etsy is getting quite expensive. But one of the things that we're losing with this Etsy store, or could lose, is the amount of testimonials she has. So over 280. So that's quite huge, right? So it was like, okay, how can we make sure that this new platform is they still able to engage folks and do what Etsy does really well with allowing people to review your items. So wherever you go on your platform, try to have a feature like that available. So that was 3, but as a 4th, bonuses, prize giveaways, those are always really fun and engaging for folks. So I wanted to offer that to you today, which I'll put in the chat link. And this giveaway, so, select whichever of these prizes appeal to you. And if you enter your email, you'll be entered into a draw for each of those. And I'll select one winner from each of those prizes. But something like this, when I send that link, it'll look like, oh, this is like quite sophisticated, but it can actually just take you something like 10 minutes. Again, all these software as services are becoming quite affordable now, and they're very easy to customize. You don't have to have a lot of background to do something like this. So, again, with the marketing helpline, if you have a big idea, you don't have to be shy about it, because these days, you can source all these type of tools quite affordably and get a bit of help, and you'll be off to the races. So yeah, I really appreciate you coming and listening to this. Little side mention too, as I've got here, our Instagram account. One of the things people say now is that your Instagram account's almost your new homepage. This is something that if you do have Instagram, you want to make sure that this is appealing, that it's really easy for people to read, so that the things that matter to them will stand out for them. So we do encourage you to follow at Rural Island Partners, or Partnerships, sorry. And there we have a number of tips as well. We have Tip Tuesday, and it goes into some detail, and we have something around a little checklist for the holidays to make sure that you're reaching the audiences that you need to. So thanks. I would love to take some questions because I've ended quite early. So please feel free to add those into the chat and I can answer them.
Maybe Cherise, go to the slide before that so people see the 3 options again that they can
Yeah. Got the link in
choose
here.
from to win a prize giveaway.
Oh yeah, I'm going to send the link in just a second.
Any questions, any comments, anybody?
Hi, Cherise. Marcus here. Thanks for that. That's very enlightening. I'm on the board of the Fulford Hall, and like a lot of these nonprofits, we have a 70 or 80 something volunteer who's running our website. And I know it's not free, but obviously having someone like yourself who's more professional in terms of that type of thing, is that where your market is, or are you thinking more of the entities on Salt Spring who are promoting themselves and selling things?
We definitely support nonprofits, anyone that's doing any sort of online presence or then everyone needs to engage with folks online. So we do have a nonprofit membership for REAP. One thing I should mention is that to access Rising Tide Business Services, you need to be a member of REAP, which is probably about half the cost of most chambers. So we've left it really low, considering that lots of the folks are members of other chambers on other islands. But we're offering some really great perks to do that. So, it's just, the main thing is that you buy in as a member. That gives us sort of that relationship, but then you're getting a free marketing helpline for a couple months right now. You have access to these accessible services, and then we have the REAP forum and other things that you can benefit from.
And could that be made available to the attendees, how to become a member of REAP, and what the options are in terms of, once one is a member, how one might get a package to have a website or a plan put together?
Yeah, absolutely. So once you sign up as a member, I'll put that link in the chat box here. You'll receive an email. We'll give you a breakdown of how to access the services, and then you'll be able to book a 15 to 30-minute call with me. So we can kind of go over where you're at, what you're thinking around, and then I can send you some options for social media, web, or digital marketing packages. On the website as well, I'll send actually 2 links. I'll send one to Rising Tide menu and then one for the membership. But the menu gives you sort of a starting point. If you just wanted to, put up a basic website tomorrow, what would that cost you? So that's a little different that you won't really see with a lot of agencies and freelancers. We think that if you just want to get started, there's a way to do that, and a budget that you can kind of plan around.
Any other questions? I will also send a follow-up email with all the links. And is there a need to share the slide deck, Cherise, or anybody participating? Are you interested in that? Maybe not.
So we can send that as a PDF. Membership here.
Yeah, and I think what's so great about Rising Tide and what you offer is that, I've looked for contractors around, and it's so great. And it's so hard to find somebody that you trust and that you want to work with, it's so awesome to have it all in one place through Rising Tide and kind of pick and choose what best fits your needs. So I think it's a really awesome service that you provide.
We like to think so, but again, like it's a co-creation, if you will. You know, as we hear back from our members and clients, you know, it's evolving and it's exciting, and I think it's sort of this, you know, great way to keep that that capital that we're building here. It's sort of a, you know, social capital that we're building, but as well as human capital, because all the folks that are working with us will benefit from this as well. The shop here, yeah, it's a starting point, but it outlines, you know, there'll be meetings with me. There's some things that we can do just to really get you started, to get you sailing, as we like to say, using a lot of those, you know, analogies. Yeah, we want to put the wind in your sails. It can be intimidating for folks to know where to start. I know it's unfortunate, and you see people starting a website and the freelancer drops off. It's great to work remotely and to have a bit of a gig economy, but it doesn't give anyone that much security too, you know, when you know, people get sick, there's things that happen. So we can provide some of that continuity for freelancers as well by having sort of an in-house staff and administration keeping everything together.
Absolutely.
Does anyone want to bounce an idea off of me around like a sales promotion or something they're thinking around for the holidays? I'm going to leave my email here as well. So if you have any follow-up questions, feel free. But don't lose that link to your prize, because we can review your website, we can go through your social channels, and give you some fun things to do on one of these rainy weekends.
Awesome. Any other questions, James, Susan? No. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Cherise, thanks for this great presentation and the tips that you provided. Enjoy the rest of your gray, rainy day. Bye.
Look forward to hearing from you.